All right, so I guess I'm going to try to keep this short. I normally try to, but it just doesn't seem to work out that way. So I have a part of a conversation that I had when it dealt with a short that I put up when it dealt with the woman to the right, which is Miss Ebony, and what she was specifically asked about dating a black man who drives a bus. And she stated that no, she wouldn't. She would date a guy if she would date a black man if he owned the company, right? So, for full context of the conversation, let me just put this directly up there for you guys to see, right? So, I specifically, she stated the very first time, she stated, she gave the right answer and had the right thinking about it. It's time for black women to get their thinking off the plantation and keep it off. Everyone who wants to do that plantation thing can take the next thing smoking. I responded, funny that she, a successful, well off, educated black woman, couldn't keep a rich white man she was engaged to, but yet she wants to talk down on black men who drive buses. She responded, what's really funny is anyone who thinks a woman should try to keep a man. That's a great way to end up very disappointed and broken. Men keep themselves, period. I responded, you focused on the word versus the point. Black women have stated that white men are better in every aspect, in every way. That black educated independent lawyer stated that she would never date a black man who drives a bus, but yet she was engaged to a white man who is part of a firm, and she blamed his 21-year-old, 18-year-old, and 14-year-old kids for the reason that the engagement failed, right? And then later, uh, talking about black men when your preference is clearly something else. And the reason that I stated that is the exact same reason why I've stated it multitude of times before. On this platform for quite some years, I stated that, hey, if you have a preference, you should realistically just stick to talking about that preference, talking about those men that you are into, that you want to attract, the ones that you want to get married to, right? Very easily, even if she disliked the scenario or the question, she could have easily answered it in a different type of way that was in no way, shape, or form disparaging or talking down about black men. And it wasn't just the fact of how it is that she made the statement, it was the face that she made after a response was given to her initial statement, right? She had the stances, oh, I'm right, I'm this, I'm that. It was a little bit too much, and especially for a woman of her age, of her education, right? Where she is in life. There's no reason for you to have faces as if you're a teenager or in your early 20s. You're a grown woman. You should be acting as a grown woman, right? So that was pretty much my main point to Ima Hicks. But then she came back and, as you can clearly see, she responded, no, I addressed the action stated, which was to keep a rich white man. Actually, she didn't. She said, in general, to keep a man, right? Let's just go back up to that, right? She said that what's really funny is anyone who thinks a woman should try to keep a man. Nope, she didn't put white anywhere in there. She generalized. I was specifically pointing out a multitude of times in my response that she had a white man, right? The cream of the crop, the main thing that you hear quite a few of the black women out here talk about online, that white men are the best in every single way. They're always owners of every single thing. They got the most money. They take care of their community. They take care of their families and everything like that, right? And my main point was that you got the gall and the nerve as an educated black woman who has this preference to, in a sense, want to respond to a question with the type of face and attitude and the response that you gave, knowing the fact that black men aren't even realistically your preference, but yet You had a guy that was a partner, technically an owner. He lives in a $2 million mansion. He has 3 kids, which would have technically, because you were engaged, about to be married, that would have actually made you a stepmother in a sense. And you turned around as the educated and independent black woman that you are and decided to blame the reason that your engagement failed is because of the kids. That seems a little bit odd to me. I've never heard of an instance where kids are to be the blame for an engagement not happening. Realistically, it was her, right? And again, going back to what the response to what Iman basically stated, she said, if your issue is that she was speaking on black men when she had another preference, she was addressing the question asked, nothing more, nothing less. And again, as I stated, she could have worded her response vastly differently. Therefore, nothing negative would have actually been said directly about her. Nobody would have critiqued the situation, anything like that. So then she stated, finally, where are all of these contentions when black men are yelling at black women that they are average at best? Black women have been forever expected to marry down. Black women have decided to give that up for good, our good. Now, note how, yet again, she wanted to talk in general. She's referring to herself and black women as a whole, right? As if she's speaking for all black women. Now, the most amazing thing about this is the fact that when black men happen to speak on black women in a certain type of way, it's in response to a lot of the things that black men have, in a sense, heard, right? Black women have tons of preferences, and respectfully, anybody can sit up to have a preference. No problem with that, right? No problem. But when you basically state as a woman that your preference is a guy that is making 6 figures, he is directly in some type of shape. He has to have ownership of a house, car, land, business, all of these things. Like I said, no problem. I get it. You're looking for security. You want to know if anything goes awry, that you can 100% basically depend on that guy to, do things. Or you want that specific guy to basically take care of you so that you don't really have to do much at all. No problem. But when it is that black men are specifically stating certain things that they want in a woman, magically, that's not the best thing to do. Magically, black men need to worry about fixing themselves. They need to worry about acquiring more. They need to do this, they need to do that, which to me is quite a contradiction, right? That's a little bit hypocritical because it's a little bit confusing to me that you would have a lot of these women on social media, on these platforms, that request, and some of you guys might know who Kendra G is. You guys can go out and check a lot of her content, right, that she has. And she has women on there, sometimes of varying races, but more times than not, she would have black women on. And a lot of these women would end up having a multitude of kids. A lot of these women would not be in the best of shape or anything of that nature, but yet they would require that a man is athletic. They will require that a man works out. They will require that a man has a good body, but yet you are not in the best of health. Like if that man could sit up there and run 3, 4, 6, or like whatever miles, then you should be able to do the exact same thing as well. Why require health wise? Why have a requirement for a healthy man in shape when you as a woman are not even in that same arena? It doesn't make sense. If the man is going to go out in the morning and he's going to be running at the normal speed, how are you going to be catching up to him? You're going to be forcing him to slow down and to basically change up how it is that he works out in order to fit what it is that you are able to do, which doesn't make any sense. Usually most people would say that you would want somebody that is directly on an equal standing, correct? So again, going back to what Miss Ebony had originally stated, that she would not date a black man who drives a bus, but one that is an owner. But again, if somebody, again, just like I posted in the video, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. If she is the owner of a firm, somebody can write it down and let me know. To my knowledge, she is not the owner of her own law firm, correct? So how would you then ask or want to talk about again a black man having ownership of something when you yourself don't really have ownership? Again, it doesn't make any type of sense. But these are the types of requirements that you have women out here making, but yet they can't even acquire these things for themselves. It doesn't make any type of sense. It just doesn't, right? But like I said, to each is their own. But going to the main thing that Miss Iman lastly wanted to state, she wanted to state that black women since forever have been expected to marry down, right? And black women wanted to, in a sense, give that up for good and yada, yada, yada. I just want to put a little bit of information uh, directly out here. It's going to be touching on a variety of things, right? One of the main things I think I might have touched on with you guys before is this, right? And this had to do with black women, right? It says this is old, right? City ordinance soon to be passed requiring them to be regular employees, right? Regardless of whether they want to have to, able-bodied Negro women in Greenville will not are not regularly employed are to be put to work, put in jail, or fined heavily. Um, at this, see, hold on. Before I continue, the main reason why I want to showcase this is that you have black women out here who believe that they've had to work forever. You have black women out here who believe that they've had to be forced to marry down. And realistically, those are not the cases. Back in the day, before a lot of us were born, you had black women that were working directly in the home. They were, taking care of the inside of the home. They were taking care of the kids, what have you. The man was the one that was normally outside of the house laboring. He was working whatever, 2 to 3 jobs that he can just so happen to find, which means that he was spending less time with his family, less time with his kids, but he was bringing in the money that he needed. And the other thing, the other aspect that I want to make sure that a lot of women understand is that back during those days, those men made sure to afford black women the things that they wanted. If they wanted that house, they was working their butt off to afford that house. If they wanted, some pearls, they were making sure to work that off to afford it. That ring, they were making sure to afford it. That car, they were making sure to afford it. That vacation, they were making sure to afford it, right? So let's continue. At its special meeting yesterday afternoon, City Council discussed the situation with regards to the class of loafers at some length, and it seems that all members of council were agreed. Let me go back to the second screen, right? All members of City Council were agreed that steps should be taken to compel them to engage in some useful occupation. It was decided that an ordinance similar to the one now in force requiring all able bodied men to work at least 5 days per week should be passed with regard to these women. Now, again, notice how, and these were the men, the ruling class, that were basically calling black women lazy. They were calling them loafers. They were saying that, oh, black women ain't out here working. We're about to sit up there and put you to work the same as your men. So again, going back to the whole instance that you've had black women out here stating that, oh, we've been working since forever. Nah, there was areas in the United States, y'all were not sitting up there working. Y'all were forced to work. And it wasn't by way of the black man that forced you to work. It was the white man that forced you to work. Ain't that a little bit interesting? Ain't that interesting? And look at where we are at this moment in time. Like I said, this all culminates into a lot of other things, right? So the other thing that I want to bring up to you guys is, let me see, not that part. I want to bring up a couple of articles, right? Do I got the images to those articles? I might have to move some stuff around for you guys. Let me do that. Yeah. So going back to this, new study shows black women are among the most educated group in the United States. right? New studies show that black women have been receiving degrees at a higher rate for years, which is excellent, which is awesome. And this article comes directly from Essence, right? And he said, according to findings compiled in a study by the National Center for Education Statistics, black women have been obtaining degrees at a consistently higher rate for the last 8 years and counting. Information collected about higher education among African Americans between 2009 and 2010 showed that black women accounted for 68% of associate degrees, 66% of bachelor degrees, 71% of master degrees, and 65% of doctorate degrees awarded to black students during that same time frame. Both by race and gender, the study also shows that black women are enrolled in college at a higher percentage than any other group, including white women, Asian women, and white men. However, while the study does shed light on many positive aspects of black women and education, some of the overall statistics are still immensely troubling. For example, as of 2012, only 15% of students enrolled in college were African American, a drastically low number relative to that of 60% of white students enrolled. Additionally, while black women continue to pursue higher education at increasing rates, they make up only 8% of the private sector jobs. Overall, the study proves much of what most of the black community are already very much aware of. We've come a very long way, but still have quite a journey ahead. Now, the reason that I brought that up was due to the fact of Brother Umar Johnson's response, right? And he had listed a response to Miss Ebony, stating the fact of, does she not know of the amount of debt that black women have at this moment in time, right? And that brings to the next article. That's the marital stability. Let me see. Most educated. Yes, there we go. All right. So then that brings to the next image here. Hopefully that is directly in front of you guys, right? I put I'm going to read it to you guys, but I made sure to put all of the stats, charts, whatever, directly in front of you guys. It states that in the United States, women owe the majority of the outstanding $1.7 trillion in student loans. As of 2020, women held almost $929 billion in outstanding student debt. And according to a new report from the Association of University of Women, black women carry about 20% more student debt than white women do. Researchers estimate that 1 year after graduation, white women owe 33,851 in undergraduate loans on average, while black women owe an average of 41,466. Graduate school can exacerbate the difference in how much money across different races owe. Among those with graduate school debt, white women are estimated to owe $56,098 on average, while black women owe closer to $75,085. Quote, while there are more black women enrolled in higher education than ever before, it's deeply concerning that black women hold so much more student debt than their white counterparts. Sadly, though, it's unsurprising. It's a stark reflection of the wide racial wealth gap in our country that leaves black families with less money to contribute to higher education. Black women are much more likely to attend college than black men, and they are subjected to significant racial wealth gap disparities, which means that they need to pull out more money to attend college. What's more, researchers have found that in order for women to earn equal sums as men, they must earn an additional degree. For instance, the Georgetown Center on Education and the Workforce estimates that a woman with a bachelor's degree earns $61,000 per year on average, roughly the equivalent to that of a man with an associate's degree. Quote, women with master's degrees make on average what a man with a bachelor's degree makes, and a woman with a bachelor's degree would make on average what a man with an associate's degree makes. And that was stated by Nicole Smith, who is the chief economist at the Georgetown CEW. She also stated that, so in terms of repayment of those loans, you have women who are taking out higher and higher loans, and their ability to repay is influenced by their low wages. So again, I'm just listing some of the things that Brother Umar Johnson had stated when he was talking about statistics, how it is that she wanted to um, come at, black men driving buses as if they're not making some type of a livable wage. When you have black women who are going to school, spending, all of this money, they're taking out all of these loans, and they're not even able to make a dent in the debt that they have accrued, when it comes to their education, right? And then let's just so happen to go to um, another statistic here, right? So then we have this one. Black women face greater risk of eviction than any other group. So this article that was written by The Root states, as the pandemic protections for tenants are lifted, black women are expected to suffer the most from a potential overflow of evictions. Per USA Today, the data from the University of California, Berkeley, black women are more likely than any other group to face eviction. Evictions against black women get filed at twice the rate of white women nationally. In Kings County, black women are filed against at 5 times the rate of white renters, with sometimes less than $10 in back rent. Experts anticipate black women renters will continue to suffer from this issue given the lift of the pandemic protections for tenants. In King County, black women account for 16% of evictions while making up only 5% of the renter population. Eviction proceedings are mostly formalities, even if a tenant owes rent and can come up with the money. Hearings often last minutes and tenants are rarely given relief. It takes 3 weeks on average to get evicted in Washington state. Among the top evictors in Kings County were corporate landlords who had received subsidies and tax breaks for affordable housing. Many tenants who received eviction notices ended up abandoning their homes without challenging the eviction, often because they don't know how to do so. When they don't respond or show up to court, this leads to what is called a default judgment in favor of the landlord, meaning tenants have days to vacate the property. Of the King County filings reviewed by USA Today, 44% resulted in a default judgment. USA Today also found other factors that put black women at risk of eviction. They are more likely to be listed as single parent leaseholders, have a higher probability of receiving nuisance citations from the police, and are at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. Upon eviction, they are not only at a greater risk of being homeless, but also experiencing a multitude of health issues that disproportionately affect them upon losing shelter. So again, um, a lot of the things that get talked about online when it refers to black men and what it is that they're not able to do and can't do, right? We've heard all of those stories. We've seen a whole bunch of people make videos directly on that, but you don't really see people talking about this, talking about the fact that black women face a greater risk of eviction than any other group, right? And remember, they just recently told you in a different article that black women are the most educated. They're the ones that are going to college. They have the highest rates when it comes to, holding degrees, right? Now, you would think that if this is the case, then that would mean that people are making way more money. But then it also told you, on average, that black women are not making that much, even to fix the amount of debt that they have when it deals with school loans. So, yet again, all I'm saying is that it's great and it's very awesome that you have women out here that are very well educated. You have women out here that have gone to college and everything of that sort. But to try to talk down upon black men who are doing an average job, let's say, just an average job, is a little bit crazy when you look at the numbers when it deals with black women with student loan debt, when it deals with black women and the evictions that they face, and that was just only in one area that they were talking about there. And like I said, I don't know what to really tell people, because people are really, well, especially black women, you guys are really getting thrown for a loop when it deals with a lot of the talking heads that are directly out here, because they're not really talking about the problems in a sense that you guys are continuously facing at this moment in time, because realistically they don't care. They're only there to feed the whole need of, hey, hate black men and this that and the third, and yada yada yada. That's the main thing that they're aiming for, right? Because if they really cared, then they would give you these numbers. They would tell you the truth that actually hurts. They would give you the real face of the story that realistically black women should, be trying to fix, right? And then going on to the aspect of Miss Ebony, and also what was what's the lady's name? Go back up to this. Let me see, Steam capture. Get rid of that one. Go back to the what Ima Hicks, right? Also stated, because I clearly stated the fact that Miss Ebony, no matter how educated that she was, no matter how great she looked, however it is that she presented herself, she could not hold a white man, right? So then we have other stats that are directly up here. Let me see if you guys can see that. Give you guys that media source right there, right? So let me just read the article to you. And this is from the National Library of Medicine, right? And it states the United States shows striking racial and ethnic differences in marriage patterns compared to both white and Hispanic women. Black women marry later in life, are less likely to marry at all, and have higher rates of marital instability. Kelly Rayleigh, Megan Sweeney, and Danielle Wandra began by reviewing common explanations for these differences, which first gained momentum in the 1960s through patterns of marital instability diverged earlier than partners of marriage formation. Structural factors, for example, declining employment prospects and rising incarceration rates for unskilled black men, clearly play a role. The author writes, but such factors do not fully explain the divergence in marriage patterns in particular. They don't tell us why we see racial and ethnic differences in marriage across all levels of education and not just among the unskilled. Riley, Sweeney, and Wandra argue that the racial gap in marriage that emerged in the 1960s and has grown since is due partially to broad changes in ideas about family arrangements and have made marriage optional, as the imperative to marry has fallen marriage has fallen, alongside other changes in the economy that have increased women's economic contributions to the household. Socioeconomic standings has become increasingly important for marriage. Race continues to be associated with economic disadvantages, and thus, as economic factors have been more relevant to marriage and marital stability, and racial gap in marriage has grown. Today's racial and ethnic differences in children's families' experiences are striking. In 2014, 70% of non Hispanic white children ages 0 to 18 and roughly 59% of Hispanic children were living with both of their biological parents. The same was true for only a little more than one third of black children. Although many children raised in single parent households thrive and prosper at a population level, single parent families are associated with poorer outcomes for children, such as low educational attainment and teen child bearing, right? And then they also state black white difference in marriage and marital stability. Young adults in the United States are waiting longer to marry than at any other time in the past century. Women's median age at first marriage currently stands at 27, compared to a median marriage age of 24 as recently as 1990, and a low of just 20 in 1955. Although social scientists debate whether today's young people will eventually marry in the same numbers as early generations, marriage remains commonplace. In 2013, more than 8 women in 10 in their early 40s were or had ever been married. So like I said, again, the numbers are directly up there. So this is not me trying to push a narrative. This is not a black man, quote unquote, hating black women or anything. I'm giving you the stats. I'm letting you know exactly what the numbers directly are. If I'm lying, then obviously these stats are lying. Because that's, directly what I'm going by. In addition to a later age at first marriage and lower proportions ever marrying, black women also have relatively high rates of marital instability. You can see table 1, which is directly in front of you. At nearly every age, divorce rates are higher for black women than for white women, and they are generally lowest among Asian and foreign-born Hispanic women, right? So again, this is not me making up the numbers. The stats are directly in front of you. So now we're going to go to the second page directly with this, right? So they state that these sources offer historical continuity and large sample sizes, but they generally offer only limited information about women's marital histories and background characteristics. Moreover, they almost certainly underestimate the size of racial gaps in marital instability, as black women tend to transition more slowly than white women do for separation to legal divorce. For our final look at contemporary marriage patterns, we now turn to a smaller data set, the National Survey of Family Growth, to get a better sense of how women's accumulated life experiences of marriage vary across race, ethnicity, and nativity. The data set contains retrospective histories on the formations and dissolutions of cohabiting and marital relationships for a nationally representative sample of women between the ages of 15 to 44, which is table 2 that you see directly in front of you. They further state that, consistent with other sources, we again see lower levels of marriage among black women than among white or Hispanic women. Among those who do marry, black women experience more marital instability than do white or Hispanic women. About 60% of white women who have ever married are still married in their early 40s, compared to 55% of Hispanic women, but only 45% of black women. After accounting for women who have never married at all, then roughly half of white and Hispanic women in their early 40s are stably married, compared to less than a third of black women of the same age. So again, my main point still stands that you have an educated black woman who, for whatever reason, was not able to hold a white man, but yet she decided that she wanted to give a certain type of answer when it dealt with black men working average jobs. Note, nowhere in those stats did it talk about black men having the highest rates of evictions. It never talked about black men having the highest rates of college debt or, what have you. Didn't say any of those things, right? And it didn't talk about the marriage rates or anything like that either. But yet you'll have women out here wanting to negatively talk upon black men and also wanting to try to speak for all black women, when yet again that seems quite crazy to me. Again, if you are a black woman and have a preference, so be it. That is completely fine and dandy. I don't have no type of problem with that at all. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. The only thing that I tell people is like, hey, just refrain from, trying to speak negatively on black men, especially black men that you know that you are not even interested in at all. At all. Like anytime that normally guys are asked, a certain type of question about a woman, regardless of however we feel, we're going to try to give the nicest answer possible, right? Trying to be respectful, trying to spare a person's feelings. We're going to directly try to give the nicest answer possible. I'm not talking about the other dudes out there that just want to say whatever it is that they want to say. On average, that's what guys will do, right? Because we understand people's, feelings. We ain't trying to, seem like, some type of jackass or whatever. So, we'll just so happen to do that. But if it just so happens to come to women and how it is that they respond to certain questions, women will just give whatever answer that they feel like giving. Because at the end of the day, women don't care about men's feelings because obviously men don't have any type of feelings or anything like that. So, it in a sense, I guess you can just say that, it is what it is at the end of the day, right? But like I said, I wanted to do this little live stream just to give out these numbers, just to put, these things, directly out there so that people can understand how crazy it is that people decide that they want to, say certain things, right? Um, oh, also, the other thing I want to say is, much love and appreciation to everybody that is, actually here. We're at 45 on the old channel, on the original, and we got 28. Here, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that is, directly here at this moment in time. The other thing that I also wanted to play that technically fits within the same aspect, because we've had instances where I've had responses from women where they've stated that, give solutions, um, lead and different things, of that sort, even though I would not be the type of guy that they would want to actually lead them or that they would actually follow, right? So among the other stats that I've listed and I showcased to you guys, again, going back to some of you guys might remember this from the previous live stream that I did. I think I showed this off in about two previous live streams. And again, this is me giving a solution to a major problem, right? And this is a glaring problem that deals with the black community, that deals with ownership, right? Because Miss Ebony stated that if a black man is able to, own something, she will directly, happen to date him. And the funniest thing is just imagine if a black man stated that about black women, right? Just imagine for like 1 second. Let me just back off of this for a minute, right? Just imagine if a black man like Brother Umar stated to black women, like, "Hey sisters, I only date you if you're doing nails. I expect you to own the nail salon. If you're doing hair, I expect you to own that hair salon. If you go to the beauty shop, I expect you to own that beauty shop. If not, I'm not dating you." Just imagine if he said that. That would sound crazy, wouldn't it? To expect a black woman who does hair, on the side or whatever it is, to expect her to automatically own something, right? If a black woman does nails, to expect her to own that, to make that a requirement. Just imagine if black men did that. You would hear black women all over the world having so many issues and talking down on black men. Just imagine if black men were like, you know what? My preference is, um, in order for me to date a black woman, she has to not have kids. Just imagine if the black men that black women are attracted to directly stated that. That would cut out a lot of black women. There would be fields of black women that would have issues. Just imagine if a black man basically stated that, yo, I'm only going to date a woman of a certain weight. Like this is the you can only be at like 180. You can only be at 160. If you're not at that range, I'm not dating. I'm not dating anything over that. Just imagine if men went out there and stated that, and they made sure that that was the slice or the demographic that they specifically went for. There will be, and I've seen this on social media. You have tons of women that were just angry, that were mad, and they just wanted to start talking about men in general. But the funniest thing is, the guy that listed it, you're not even interested in him. He was never even on your radar. He's not even your type. But because you felt offended or you're feeling offended for other women, you want to, in a sense, throw yourself directly in there, which is a personal problem. And then you want to start running your mouth as if he directed it specifically towards you, which is crazy. Like I said, if women have preferences, that's completely fine and dandy. Don't get mad if black men out here have preferences too. It's crazy that, all right, yo, black women, they can have whatever preference they can have. But if a black man has a preference, you have no right to have a preference. You don't deserve to have a preference. You're not doing anything to even require a preference. It's crazy. Like I said, the conversations, the comments, the videos that I've watched, all of it is nonsensical, illogical, and it's crazy. It makes no sense. And like I told y'all before, I'm the type of person, I'm about equality because that's what women want, right? All women everywhere talk about, oh, they want to be equal to men and they can do the same thing that men can do and all this other type of stuff. They want to be on an equal footing and everything else of that sort. Like I said, I am that type. If you want equality, I'm going to give it directly to you, which means that you are going to be held accountable at the exact same level for any type of violence and or foolishness that comes directly from you. If you say something foolish, I'm going to hold you accountable the same way that I hold men accountable. If you are violent in any other type of way, I'm going to hold you accountable the same way that I hold men accountable. If you ain't taking care of your kids, which you have a lot of women out here that can give birth, but they're not actual mothers, I'm going to hold you accountable the same way I sit up there and hold men accountable. But like I said, when you start doing that, that's when people want to start giving pushback. That's when people want to start having problems. Oh no, it's like this ain't fair. Well, life ain't fair. Life ain't fair. Like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. Brother Sai said they had to shut down your first channel. Uh, you blew up on YouTube too fast. Yeah, yeah, I was closing in on 100K. I was getting up there. I was real close, and then they were just like they clipped those wings real quick. I'm like, all right, no problem, no problem, no problem. Like I said, hey, brother Sly, what's wrong with 180? Ain't nothing wrong with 180. I listed 180 because I like big girls, so I don't really think that's technically like big though. I don't know. I would have to maybe I gotta look at like a graph, whatever. Basically, like 180 and up, that's big girl status. Well, also depending on the height of the woman as well, because technically 180 on somebody that's short is going to be bigger versus 180 on a woman that is like taller, right? Just like if you got a woman that's two something, when it's shorter, she's going to be short and stocky, right? Everything is going to be everything versus a woman who is taller is going to be stretched out. It's going to be more, I guess you could say, like lean or whatnot because of like the height and how weight has to like go everywhere and whatnot. So you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Gary Walker said, "Do any race take care of another's kids? Rarely. Why is it us that do this?" Um, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, some people make the decision to be directly in a child's life. Like I said, much love and respect to those men directly out there because that's the decision that they want to sit up there and make with their lives. Um, But to automatically, put that on men, on, specifically black men, is crazy. Like I said, I've seen a lot of paternity shows, and they decided to state that, oh, even though you found out that this child isn't yours, this is when the female judges, they'll be like, oh, well, don't you love the child? Don't you care? They'll start working that emotional route to, in a sense, coerce, you know, that young black man or that black man to basically stay directly in that child's life. They'll be like, oh, well, the child, you're the only one that the child knows, and yada, 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 and all this other type of stuff. But I'm like, that does not negate the fact that, yo, this woman lied. She knew who the father was, but she wanted to pin it on this dude, knowing the fact that he is not the father. And then y'all want to sit up there and try to have this dude, this man or this young man, basically spend 18 years with a child that ain't his, when he could very easily find a woman that actually cares, that's not going to lie, and when they have a child, that child is going to be his. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, because you don't see women out here trying to force other women trying to be stepmothers. You don't see it. I've never seen a show in existence where you have people, or the world, better yet, or a community, trying to say that, yo, it's very good for black women to be stepmothers. Go out there and be a stepmother. Go out there and find you a a black man who has kids, and be a stepmother to those kids. Like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy. All I'm saying is, I'm looking for that equality. Women say that they want equality. I'm just looking for it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You see what else we got up in here? Uh, Wait, LC. I don't even know what LC is, Gail. Uh, Gail, what is LC? Let me know what that is. Yeah, DNA test should be mandatory. Yeah, Cordell said if she is 200 pounds and respectful, that is a win. At this point, respectful should be the first requirement. Yeah, like I said, for me, it's like, yo, big girls are dope. Big girls, they know how to cook. Wait, hold on. Wait, who said that? Let me go back up. Brother Sly said exactly 180 and 5'1" isn't thick. Well, this is the thing though. It depends on the person. Like I said, I didn't seen, like I said, for me, interest, big girls. So I done seen a variety. Like, unlike a lot of men out here who will sit up there and like date or be with like big girls, like, in the dark where nobody can sit up there and see them. Nah, I've been with big girls in public. so so for me, I've seen a variety of different sizes of big girls. Like I said, for me, again, just like how the brother Cordell Lewis said, like, if the woman is like respectful, like I said, that for me, that blows past everything. Like, let you have a big girl that is like respectful, that loves you, that admires you, right? That actually wants to like be with you, that believes in you. Oh, that will, for me, that tops any other woman out here. That tops any other woman out here. I do not care what nobody has to say. Like I said before, I will take a respectful, loving big girl over any of these quote unquote tens that got like they body done by Mr. Miami and all this other type of stuff. I will highly sit up there and take the big girl over there, because 9 times out of 10, the girls that are supposed to be like the nines, the tens, all this other type of stuff, they stuck up, they got attitudes, they feel that the old owes them something, they feel that everything is supposed to be given. They're not going to give you respect, even if you are giving them all the respect and everything in the world that they desire. They're still going to treat you and look at you a certain type of way. And especially if you can't come through once, oh, it's over for you. shop is getting closed down. She's already looking for somebody else. Like I said, but again, as I stated, when it came to women who got preferences, I'm going to state the same thing with men. Everybody has their own preference. To each is their own. Like I said, I can't speak for everybody. I can just sit up there and speak for myself. You know, you know. Let me see. Uh, you'll figure it out one day. All right, whatever. Like I said, I don't got time to try to really like contemplate mysteries. Chances are I ain't gonna figure it out, and like I said, I don't know what to tell people. I ain't gonna try to stay on nothing for too long. I'm really not. I dated a 6'7" basketball player. I'm only like 5'10", chopping down. Yeah, like I said, women of a variety of sizes, they are, very much dope. And especially again, if they are respectful, if they are caring, if they are loving, all of those, good things and whatnot. Um, Yo, Miss Yvette, what is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. What is up? What is up? What is up? The Jelmo, what is up? Said yes, Ebony is physically pretty woman, but the personality she exudes is ugly and makes her unattractive. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, she got a whole bunch of stuff going for her, but it's like the attitude that she just gives off is like, yeah. Like I said, this is the same woman that wanted to sit up there and blame the reason why she did not go through with the engagement to the guy that she was with on the kids. It's crazy. I ain't never heard of that in my life. You a grown woman. I'm not even sure how old this woman is, and you're blaming his kids for the reason why it is that y'all ain't engaged. That's crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. And then, if I remember correctly, they stated that they were together for about like what about like 4 years or maybe like 4+ years. That's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy. 1,000% crazy. You know. Let me see what we got. What we got. What we got. Uh, Lord, only Ma. Swear to goodness. Brother Sly said, "My height preference is 5'4". If you want to argue, then you still have to look up." Yo, this man. Oh man, this dude. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah. But yep. But yep. Like I said before, I just wanted to. Miss Yvette said, "Oh, she's 39. Yeah, She gotta fix her attitude. She 100% gotta fix her attitude. Like that's 1,000% crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. 1,000% crazy. Like I said before, like for me, I've never had a problem, and this is just me. I'm just talking from myself. I'm talking about the women that I've dated and everything. I've always sat up there and looked for black women who have a an education, college education, or they're sitting up there moving about trying to do something, right? Trying to sit up there and hustle legally, you know, um, because that's something that that is needed. Because if you got a guy that's out here, he's hustling different things of that nature, how it normally works is that you get motivation from the people that you are around, right? And there's no better place to get that motivation than if you're in a relationship with a woman that's also out there hustling. Like she's, working on getting like a DBA, LLC, and and all of these other types of things. Like I said, that's going to like motivate you. Like, man, she out here, she really sitting up here moving. She making me look like I'm standing still. Yo, let me pick this up real quick, right? So it becomes like that type of thing, and you grow even more love, for one another in that instance, because you're both feeding. It's a symbiotic relationship when it comes to that dynamic. Y'all both are feeding off of each other's energies. All right, she sees him hustling, so now she's going to sit up there and go harder. He sees like how hard that she's going, now he's going to sit up there and do the same thing, right? And they're going to end up building, and making something together that's going to be beyond anything that they probably would have been able to do if they were by themselves, right? Just off of that type of energy. So, gentleman rated said, can someone dating a white man, the architect of the patriarchy and the system of white supremacy, lecture black men? Realistically, no. Realistically, no. At least for my outlook on it. No, because the only people that you should judge are the men that you are of interest, like that you are interested in, the men that you are seeking. So if a black woman is basically looking for white men or other men that are not black, then you should only be speaking on positively and negatively on those men. More specifically, if you're going to say something negative, you better be speaking on those men. And that's just me being real. You know, Essence Magazine reported that Ebony's ex wanted time spent with his kids during. Oh yeah, I went over that. Yeah, I went over that. I did a full video directly on her and what it is that she stated. Um, and I'm like, if he wanted to spend time with his kids during the quarantine in his $2 million home, then it is what it is. He's going to spend time with his kids. And again, those are his kids that he is paying for in his home. Like I said, she sounds like a spoiled brat. Like you're mad that he's spending time with his kids during quarantine. You feel that he should put you over his kids. Nah, that's not how that works. The kids came before you. The kids are important. So it's like I said before, he made the move to, basically show you that, hey, I want to get married to you. But for her, that wasn't enough. She wanted more. And like I said, that's the problem. You got too many women out here that act like spoiled children. Like I said, you're a woman, you're independent, you're on the move, right? You're a lawyer. You're doing a variety of things out here. So if he's out there during the quarantine spending time with like his kids or whatever, you should be out here making, money and business moves for yourself, right? Because again, you're strong, you're independent, you don't need no man, you're highly educated. But then this also goes back to the main stat that they stated before when it deals with women and the divorce rates. They stated that around 70+% of women with a normal education are the ones that go for divorce. But then that number ups to about 80 to 90% when you have women who are college educated. So just think about that. She called off the engagement because of how it is that she felt. So just imagine if they were married. She would have been the one filing for divorce. She would have been the one looking for divorce, not the man. Let me see. Back to Love said many black people only want a comfortable seat in white supremacy, essentially Negro pens. Brother Sly says she is not wife for material. Hey, well, she wasn't engagement material either. This is why she is not engaged. And then on top of that, she was also on the Breakfast Club when she wanted to talk about sperm donors and how it is. This is another topic. Hold on, let me just get the picture up here so that we'll know what I'm talking about. Um, Let me just see if I can just get that up. Let me just use the one that they got. Was it on Essence? Okay, let me just do that one. Right. So this is my main problem here. Right. So again, we've had conversations before where you've heard black women basically state that they don't want to have kids with like black men and yada yada yada, all that good stuff. Right. No problem. That's cool. Fine. But you mean to tell me that a all black lesbian couple, for whatever reason, could not happen to find a black sperm donor? Now, some people will sit up there and say, well, Seji, why does it matter? It has nothing to do with you. That's their business. It becomes my business when people put their stuff out there on social media, right? And again, it amazes me when you have people wanting to say certain things. So this was what they had directly on. It was either Essence or it might have been like Yahoo. The Brat's wife on why the couple went with a white sperm donor after rapper caught black donor Jiminy Cricket. So my main thing is, so you mean to tell me out of all of the industry that out of all of these successful, black men that you might have some straight black female friends. They know black men that are successful, that got money, that are educated. Out of all of the men, the black men that these black women either know or that their associates know, you mean to tell me that you couldn't find one? You couldn't find one that you can happen to get some DNA from in order to have a child? I'm a little bit confused. I need somebody to explain that to me. I need somebody to explain that to me because I'm a little bit at a loss. I'm a little bit at a loss because the main thing that's going to end up happening, right? Because now that child is going to be biracial, right? Because the father's white and the mother is black. So then the child is going to be biracial. So now you're going to have to deal with the child is going to have to deal with the consequences of being part of a biracial union. So now they got to go out here and deal with the world. Like I said, if they have a daughter, you know what? More than likely, she'll be fine. If it's a son, she's not going to realistically be able to tell that son how to progress and how to move through the world. This is when she's going to have to enlist the help of somebody like Jermaine Dupri, right, who is a black man, or Usher, or Bow Wow. She's going to have to enlist the help of other black men who have moved around out here and who understands what it is to be a black man, how it is to walk, how it is to talk, how it is to act, how it is to breathe as a black man in order for that child to even have a potential to survive. And even that's not technically going to be enough because that child is going to have to also potentially face the fact of, depending on how biracial they are, right? Because we've seen instances of this. Let me just see if I can get y'all a picture, right? So we got Logic the rapper, right? The mother is black, the father is white. Let me get that image directly up there for you, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I don't want people lost in the conversation. So that's Logic, right? Who is the rapper? And Logic's mother, again, is black, father is white. And you can clearly see who he took directly after. When you look at him, you don't automatically instinctively like, okay, yeah, that's a black man. Nah, he is ultra passable. If this was like the 1950s, he's a white boy somewhere down south. He looked like he would fit directly right in with like a lot of the rallies and a lot of the other things that go on. He looked like he would fit in with, like the Leave It to Beaver and all of that good stuff, right? Like I said, no disrespect to Logic. Like I said, I listen to his music. I like the style of rap that he got, right? Dope. But again, I'm just using him for that example because it fits within this scenario. And again, even if she enlists the help of black men that she knows that are successful, that have been here long enough, that have, lived and moved around, if she has a son and the son comes out looking like Logic, that's going to be a very tough thing for that child to deal with, because they're not going to know where it is that they fit. Because now the child is going to be stuck. It's like, okay, well, my mom is black, but my dad is white, but yet I'm in the black community. But yet I'm in a black community and black people are telling me that I'm not white. But then if I'm around white people, they're telling me that I'm not black. See, it's going to be the whole thing. And I keep trying to tell black people this. I'm like, yo, y'all keep sitting up there doing this, and y'all the ones that don't have to deal with the fallout of being born, by this type of union. And I'm like, that is unfair to a child, because you want to be selfish, because you want to do the things that you want to sit up there and do. Like, that's unfair to a child, because you can't sit up there and raise them and give them the exact same training book that you had. It's not going to work. They're going to have to sit up there. They're going to have identity issues. They're not going to know where it is that they sit up there and fit, because they're of two, separate people, two separate groups. You know, Gail said, is his mother actually black, or is that the group she chooses to identify with amongst her admixture? I don't think, have I ever seen, has he shown off a picture of his mom? He might have, but I don't think I have that picture at all. So I could not specifically actually give you the answer on that, Gail. I'm just going by what it is that he has stated, you know. Grape Shot said, yeah, I have two cousins that's half Chinese and they're brown skin. You can tell they're half Chinese by their eyes and curly hair. Gail Jones said, speaking of Fallout, uh, Seji, isn't that Fallout Boy and older Logic? Wait, I know who you're talking about because I listened to the group Fallout Boy. No, those are not the same. Those are not the same guys. If that's what you're talking about, I think that's what you. Wait. Are you talking about Fallout Boy the group? Cordell said, why didn't they ask Jermaine Dupri or Little John to be the donor? I mean, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know. Cordell said it's called self hate. Back to Love said, if Ebony is in the Freaknik documentary, oh, that'd be crazy if she is. That would be crazy. Gail said the bride has always been whack. She just wanted to mix kids. uh, oh man. Let me see. You could tell Logic was raised by his mom. Gail said, I know they're not the same, but that singer is passable. I don't, to my knowledge, the main singer in Fallout. Now I gotta sit up there and go look. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, what's going on? Like, Gail bringing up Fallout Boy right now. I'm like, what's happening? What Gail been listening to? The main singer, to my knowledge, that dude is white. Uh, Let me see. Okay, that's Pete Wentz, and then you got the other guy. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. Pete Wentz. I think you might be talking about the other guy. I'm just trying to see something real quick. Pete Wentz parent. Huh. Oh, that's why you said that. Huh. His mom is looking a little bit dark there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Full name is Peter Lewis Kingston Wentz the Third. Wow, that's a name right there. His mother, she doesn't appear to have a public social media photo. Pete has heritage from England and Germany. As for his mother, she is Afro-Jamaican descent. Ah, that's why he said. I was looking at his mom. I'm like, see, I didn't even. Gail taught me something new. I didn't even know. Because I was looking at his hair real quick in one of the pictures, and it was sort of like in a fro type. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, what the hell did your hair ever look like? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, so this is why your hair is always like gelled either up or it's just like it was straight down for you. Oh, now it's making sense. I'm like, ah, ain't that something? But like I said, you learned something new. Shout out to Gail. Shout out to Gail for I gotta put that up there now. I gotta hold on, wait a minute. Let me see if I can go back to the pictures of Pete ones. Let me see. Um, that is crazy. Huh. Look at that. Learn something new. Let me tell you. Shout out to Gail out here talking about Fallout Boy. Let me find out you listen to some alternative music, Gail. Let me find out. You were back there in the early 2000s. Yeah, I didn't know that. Like I said, this is what Gail was talking about. So Pete Wentz is the lead singer of Fallout Boy. If you don't know who Fall Out Boy is, then obviously I don't know where you was living in like the 2000s, like the early 2000s. I'm not sure where you were. I would just probably tell you to go look up some of the songs, you know. But yeah, I did not know that they said his mom is Afro Caribbean and his mom and his dad is like German and what. It's like now that you got both of them in like the same picture, you can kind of see it. But even with the mom being like Afro Caribbean, it's still like she looks like she's still biracial herself. So it's like now I understand why it is that he technically he has like a tinge to him because when you see the color of his dad versus him, it's different. It's a complete difference. Like I said, the hair that threw me off. I'm like, look at that hair. I'm like, it's looking real suspicious. Looking real suspicious. But back to what I was saying, like I said before. Um, I need somebody to explain to me why it is. And just like somebody else stated, how it is possible that the brat could not find somebody amongst her friends that she trusts, whatever, could have did like a whole screening and all this other type of stuff, to make sure everything is completely fine and dandy, in order to have a kid. You know, most said Logic's father occasionally brought cocaine from his sons. From the outside looking in, the situation seems less than ideal, but for Logic, it makes sense. Oh, mm. Wait a minute, the brat dated Allen Iverson? Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me look that up. Let me see this. Huh. So somebody did a video saying that the brat revealed that Allen Iverson dumped her and that she wasn't good enough for him. Oh, that's great. I did not know that. Wow. Like I said, y'all, like I said, I'm learning a lot of new stuff today. I'm learning a lot of new stuff today. Let me tell you something. Like I said, you can never be too old to learn something new. And that is what is happening. Let me put that picture up there. That is a shocker to me. Because in my mind, I'm like, all right, yeah, the brat pretty much always been like this. Because it's like, for me, it's like I'm not really remembering the brat, uh, really dating guys like that. That's crazy. Ah, that's crazy. Did not even know that. That's crazy. Wonder what happened there. Wonder what happened. And she don't have to look like she was just like into like girls and nothing like that. She looked like, the normal like black girl that you would see like, in the hood. It's like, look attractive, She got like the beads and whatnot. I'm like, all right, I see you out here. Right. But yeah, I did not know that they dated. That's something brand new. Something brand new. But yeah, so how come she couldn't just sit up there and ask, you know, uh, Allen Iverson, for a sample? They were in a sense, close at one time. Much love and appreciation. Hold on, I gotta catch that one real quick. Much love and appreciation from my aunt from the shot. Said, good morning, nephew. Yes, she dated him. I'm old enough to remember. Much love, respect, and appreciation for the donation. You know. Wait, hold on. Design said, come on, Seji. Yo, hey, I didn't know. I'm telling you, like, yo, I swear to goodness, like, yo, it's a lot of stuff that I was not up on that everybody else knew about. I swear to goodness. Like I said, probably during that time of like when they were dating, was I watching like and one or something? It was like I was watching like a lot of stuff. I wasn't really watching like NBA and stuff. Like I really wasn't. Like the only time I probably like really watched NBA maybe dealt with like the Pistons like during like the bad boy era. Um and then you had the newer Pistons like later on. We had both of the Wallaces on there. We had Rasheed and Ben Wallace, right? And you had everybody else up on there like Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, and whatnot. So it was like, yeah, I wasn't look up Grace Jones' grandchild. Wait a minute, Grace Jones' grandchild. Like I said, I'm just learning some stuff today. Let me see. I mean, well, I can see that because it looked like the dude that she with is looking real light. Real light. I mean, technically, I'm not too shocked. Yeah, even like her kid, like I said, I'm not too shocked. Cause like when I saw like Grace Jones, I'm like, yo, skin complexion is crazy. I'm like, wow, the clarity on that. And then I'm looking at an older picture. What is this? This is her like way back. She got like long hair. Like, wow. Wow. Hold on, I gotta put that one up there. Like I've seen all of the other pictures of Grace Jones. I never got a chance to see like a younger image of her. Hold on, I gotta put that one up there. I'm like, wow. Hold on, let me see that. Like, let me see that. And her hair wasn't even like long like that. And that was her when she was younger. I'm like, wow, wow. And I'm like, technically, that fits more of like a style that you would see, um, some black women. I think some might have been doing that. You seen a few like in the '90s, with the hairstyle where it was like short on the sides and like around the back, but like it had like the hair up top and whatnot. Like I said, that was a dope hairstyle. Like I said, black women, like when it came to, I would say, when I saw like styles in like the '90s and like the early 2000s, was it nobody else? Nobody else on this planet had more hairstyles and more ways to like literally do their hair than black women. No, no, nobody. To the, like during this time frame, it's a little bit different because now the stuff that black women have been doing with their hair, it's all over TikTok and IG. So now you got everybody else trying to do it and trying to claim stuff. Oh, you guys didn't invent this, da, da, da. Crazy stuff. This is why this is why I sit up there and try to tell black people like, yo, this is why you gotta gatekeep stuff. Like this is exactly why you need to sit up there and gatekeep stuff because people will roll up and they'll try to claim certain stuff that they didn't do. But yeah, I see some wait, who is that? That was Tom Jones. I was like, yo, who is that man with that other man? I'm like, what's going on? So I was trying to figure out, was that her actual like complexion or did they use like makeup? Because like when you look at her other pictures, you see like the normal like brown skin. And then when you look at like the model pictures, you see something completely different. Some of the pictures that they took of her like are not too flattering. Like when she's older. Like and I swear like people did that on purpose. I'm like, that is not too flattering. Yeah, like when I saw like Grace Jones, I'm like, I'm looking at you with like Arnold and a few other dudes. I'm like, yeah, y'all probably had like a relationship or something. Y'all probably did something. It was probably something there. Probably something there. But yeah. Let me see. Where we at? Gotta go back to the comment section now. I gotta see the bride up close at the All Star weekend. She's beautiful but confused. Yeah, like the brat, she looks great. She's always looked great. She's always looked great. Her, Missy Elliott. I don't know what Missy Elliott did. It was like she went through like on some Benjamin Button type. Like I don't know what that is. Like she found like the fountain of youth or something. Like her age is like going in reverse. I'm from Shy said called Austin 6644. Okay, I see you. Well, I wasn't gonna say that out loud, but I see you out here. I see you out here. My aunt from the Shy. The industry, Jermaine was messing with Janet. I mean, yeah, yeah. Like I said, anything is possible. Jermaine Dupri had Janet Jackson for quite a bit. Anything is possible. Like I said, this is why guys should never give up. Never give up, never surrender. Anything is possible. If Jermaine Dupri, and I'm not to any black guys, listen, if you don't know Janet Jackson, go look at some of her live performances where she got guys on stage. Jermaine Dupri was able to get Janet Jackson. Anything is possible. Don't let no woman sit up there and tell you it ain't. Just go back and point to a picture of Jermaine Dupri with Janet Jackson. That's all you got to do. That is all you got to do. Brother Sly said that baby could have had a nice crossover with the Wicked crossover. Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's bars. And man said Iverson looked like you, Sedgy. Hey, much love and appreciation. I wish. Because if I looked anything close to AI, let me tell you, I would be an impersonator directly out here. Let me tell you something. Man, that would have worked out beautifully for me back in the day. Ooh, that would have been so great. So great. That would have worked out. My aunt from the Shy said she was a pretty gal back in the day and she was tough. That was a real appeal. Yeah, that's the whole reason. It's like the brat. Like I said, for me, the brat had like the tomboy like ish like persona, but it was like the whole thing of knowing it was like, all right, she like doing some of the same thing. Like you could see her playing like basketball and and stuff like I said, she looked like one of the ones that can sit up there and play sports. I'm with it. I'm there. You know. I just didn't know that she dated AI. Did not know. That was just news to me. Instead of asking Allen Iverson to be the donor, she went to Jim Carrey or Brother Sai says she hit her body back in the day with baggy clothes. She definitely sitting on a gold mine. Yeah, she is. There was a couple of women um that hid their bodies with baggy clothes. And it's like I get it, I understand it. You want to have people pay attention to what it is that you are able to do versus what it is physically that you have. I get that. I understand that. You ain't trying to have the attention, where you ain't trying to have it. I get that because you want the respect at the end of the day. I got that. I don't got no problem with that. I don't got no problem. That's who they. No, 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 no. I gotta take down Logic picture. No, no, no. They didn't pick Logic for uh the what's the name? They went with like some random like white dude or whatever, and they said like the rest of the donors were like Jiminy Cricket, and you had the other girl, Ebony, the lawyer. She basically went on the Breakfast Club saying like the same thing, how it's tough for her to find like a donor. I'm like, y'all kidding me with this? So you mean to tell me that y'all don't know no eligible, educated black men that y'all can sit up there and find? Come on, come on. Grace Jones was no joke back in the day. She popularized the high top fade that is worn today. Yeah, I believe it. Because in every single photo, that's the main image that you see her directly in. And she wore it. She was there. That is like iconically that is her style. Barry White said, "What is up? What is up?" Let me see. Gary Walker said, "Portrayed Grace as a masculine, tough menace. Very fine though." Yeah, it was like it's crazy. It is crazy. It's like beyond all of the stuff, like they always had her in like this role where she was like ultra strong, she was tough and all this other type of stuff. But it was like when you would like look directly at her, you see something completely different. Like when you look at her face, you see something completely different. You're not seeing the I'm tough, I'm this, I'm not. You ain't seeing none of that. Keith said, "You're overthinking this. Women have children as accessories. Their goals are nothing like men's goals." Ah, you know, maybe, possibly, maybe, you know. My aunt from the Shy said she walked the catwalk recently at 74. That's dope. I think I saw recently. I think who was it? Naomi. She's still doing like some modeling as well. Wait, Grape Shot said, I remember when Arnold said he didn't want to work with her ever again after she put two stuntmen in the hospital during the filming of Conan the Destroyer. Oh wow. So maybe she was strong. Maybe she is strong. Like I said, hey, I don't know. Somebody tell me what happened to Stacey Dash. She used to be hey, I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I had a crush on Stacey Dash back in the days of like Clueless. I was like, wow. I'm like, she looks great. She is looking good. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Mom from the shot said it's about your game, not how you look. Jermaine Dupri proved that. That's true. That's bars. That's bars. Dang. Gail just going in. Gail, you don't gotta do people like that. You going hard out here on people. You don't gotta do people like that. That's cold blooded. Gary said, Brad, all women who having the kid don't be live, be everything you reading here. I think I get what you're saying. Sean said, and that was the 1980s when Grace Jones was wearing it. Oh, so the hairstyle that I had up, that was her in the 80s? Wow. Wow. Design said, did you know that the Brat and Lisa Ray was? Yeah, that part I knew. That part I knew because I remember hearing Lisa Ray talk about the Brat before. And I think she was like talking about like some family type of stuff, or how they get into like fights or arguments or all this other type of, like, yeah, I remember that. Lisa Ray is another one, but then it's like when you start to hear Lisa Ray now and her talking, it's like, yeah, yeah. Grape said, no, they just want a white boy, so they'll throw a black man under the bus for that. But of course, these same women become enraged if they see a black man with a non-black woman. Hey, it be like that. It be like that. It be like that. But yeah, man. But anyways, like I said, I just wanted to do technically a short video. I ended up technically adding something else in there and then talking a little bit longer. Um, but I just say much love, respect, and appreciation to everybody. Thanks for hearing me yammer. And instead of before I go, I forgot the main thing when it dealt with like the solutions, and stuff like that, right? So this is the one main thing that I'll sit up there and say, and I know that some of the ones that normally come up late, um, they won't happen to mention it, or they won't happen to see it. And I got to go back to like I got to find the media source now. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Okay, yeah, because I was gonna replay like the video uh, that I had like previously, where it was a black woman specifically talking about a lot of these subjects and whatnot. But basically, long story short, the solution to a lot of the issues dealing with black women and dealing with finances and different things of that nature is all black women have to do. Not even, like I said, you're not going to be able to get everybody to do it, but I would at least want to say that I would believe that 50% of black women out here, out of the 100, 50% would be in the logical arena to basically understand that if they were to set aside money into some type of form, into like a larger trust or a larger account, and they would allow that to like build up, they would make the sacrifice in the beginning in order to be greater off, to be better off later on, that they will come out a lot better instead of having to depend on the banks to give them money. and and different things in that nature. So if they happen to need loans, if they need business loans, something for a mortgage, or they want to start up a new business, or they just need money just because, they could easily go to like a trust that they have set up or whatever, where they've all put in money, and they can go to the black female treasury who are overseeing that trust, and they can easily get the money that they need, because I feel that it would be a lot easier for black women to save up their own money and to build up their own money with each other, versus trying to depend on these banks like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and all of these other groups who are supposedly doing it and investing in black women for their best interest, and all of these other types of things. Again, the main thing that was stated was black women spend about 1.1 billion annually on wigs, weaves, and extensions. If you at least have a nice portion, I say 50% of black women holding back on buying a lot of that stuff, it would benefit a nice size amount of black women and young black girls in general. That would allow black women more land ownership, more housing ownership. That could also help them when it deals with let's say debt in schools. Instead of them trying to get a loan directly from whatever, they can go to that trust or whatever it is and happen to get that money. Because the main thing that I've stated before is that as black people, as a black community, we have the power to literally fund anything that we need to do. All we need is us. We don't need nobody else. We've seen what the Latin community can do. The Latin community been doing a beautiful job on supporting themselves, been supporting their communities, their families, and their businesses. The Asian community been doing the same thing. The Jewish community been doing the same thing. White community doing the same thing. The Caribbean community doing the same thing. African community doing the exact same thing. Everybody's doing this except for us. Everybody's, in a sense, depending on themselves and then whatever addition that they get from the government, in order to do the things that they need. Black people are the only ones realistically just depending on the government to basically get us out of a plight or out of a circumstance that they've, in a sense, enabled. And they've had the longest running plan and scheme, in order to basically do this. Um, so, Cordell said, what are the DV numbers for lesbian relationships? I heard they're high. Yeah, they are high. I've covered that before in previous videos when it dealt with relationships in the LGBT community. I've dealt with those numbers. I've dealt with those numbers before, and I specifically put those out because some people want to say that, hey, you're homophobic. Everything that you say is da 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 da. I'm like, I got you. So let me just put up some stuff real quick, like I've been doing, right? Because remember, if I'm homophobic, I'm not going to care about the rates of erasure of both either from within or the outside, right? I'm not going to point out the fact of the heavy drug or alcoholic use. I'm not going to point out the fact of the effects of the molestation that happens, which leads to certain things, right? I'm not going to point out, all of those things if I was quote unquote phobic or anything like that, but I do, right? Just like how right now, some people say that I'm anti-black woman, and I'm pointing out, stats and stating things that again need to be talked about, amongst all the other things that normally get talked about, right? So, like I said, that's for me, that's the best solution that black women can, in a sense, do, and again, irregardless of what some other men, um, what is it? Irregardless of what like some men have stated on a platform before, I advocate for black women having gun permits, licenses, gun training, self-defense training, and all of those other things, because I've consistently stated that, hey, there's not an 18-wheeler of black men just sitting out there in the wild waiting to hear the scream or anything happening with a black woman in order to jump out and attack whoever's going after, a black woman. There's not going to be a black dude in a super suit coming from the sky at the drop of a dime whenever, something's happening. So, again, as I've stated, I would rather black women be prepared versus being left out there in the wilderness, not knowing how to, do anything, you know, because at the end of the day, some of the black dudes who had a problem with what it is that I'm stating, they know damn well that they're not able to protect every single black woman or black girl that is directly in their family. Their families are spread out, even if they're in the same state, they're miles apart. You're not going to be able to get there in 2 minutes, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. You're not going to be able to get there instantly like your Goku using an instant transmission, going from Yardrad to Earth. You're not going to be able to do that. So it would be better off if you would have, black women with the ability to carry and protect themselves. Brother Slash said I had a stud run up on me and her girlfriend. I'm thinking I might have to put hands on a burly. Oh man, it's crazy. It is crazy. On a gunplay part, yeah, that was another. It's a video that I got that I'm going to be posting up there, and it's roughly the same thing that I showcased, well, that I talked about before, and it ain't nothing too good. It ain't nothing too good. Um, no, Gary, you're right. Yeah, guns don't kill. People do. You're right. You're right. People don't. People, misuse the power that they have. You are 1,000% correct. I do not disagree with you at all. I do not. I do not. But yeah. But anyways, before I just start going into like some type of long rant and I just start moving over into like anime and video games again, I'm going to get directly off. What are we at? We've been on here for like an hour and like 41 minutes. Probably gonna fix some food or something, and I'm gonna let y'all have at it in the morning. Much love and appreciation to y'all. Hopefully, the live stream was able to help y'all out during the last part of the last stretch, of your morning shift, or maybe you're just getting up or whatever. And you just so happen to hit the stream. Much love, respect, and appreciation. You'll be able to catch the replay of the stream after it goes directly up. There was something else I wanted to mention as well, and I think I lost it. I lost my train of thought at that moment. I don't know what happened. But I'll probably hit y'all up a little bit later, probably during the week maybe, with another live stream. Oh, Hot Stepper just got here. You just got up. See. That's why I would normally do like the streams for like 3 hours, because I know some of y'all will either be like getting off work, just getting up, or just leaving or something like that. But like I said, I got y'all. I got some things are going to be rolling up. Y'all gonna see some Diablo gameplay up here, probably around like the 12th. So don't be too shocked. I'm just letting people know it's about 47 people here. If you see Diablo gameplay on both channels, do not be too shocked. It's just me playing video games, just relaxing, letting y'all relax, just talking, y'all just having, conversations, different stuff like that. So you might see different people, talking, amongst, the conversations that y'all having. So, like I said, much love, respect, and appreciation. Thank y'all for being here. And I will bring you guys another live stream sometime soon, or if we have something, really important that took place. And also, I will have a video. If I can give that directly to you, I got a video coming up for you guys. I don't think I got the picture of it though. Hold on, let me see if I can get the picture real quick before I go, so y'all know the video that I'm talking about. Because it's a video that I actually wanted to bring to y'all earlier, but I couldn't do it because YouTube decided that they wanted to hold the video back for whatever reason, which, of course, it never makes any type of sense. Let me see. So the video that you guys will see I'm just trying to download the image real quick. Save that real quick. Go back up. I'm shocked Tippy wasn't here. I'm shocked Gail was on time. That is a shocker. Let me let y'all know something. Gail be late to these streams. Late. But yeah, this is gonna be the video that you guys will see around like 12 o'clock. And you're going to hear my opinions directly on this. I got quite a few things to say. Because again, if this was a man that did this, if it was a male coach that did this with female players, women would be having a problem. It would be a field day on social media with women talking about, oh, this is what we're talking about with men with power and all this other type of stuff. So again, we're going to get into that. So, y'all see that around like 12 o'clock. I might even set that, so you guys can see it or whatever. But yeah, just be prepared to see it. For some of y'all that might be watching from the original channel, this video is going to be showing up in the rest of the newer videos that I have that I always do every day. These will be on SEIJIHITO, the second coming. So if you never been to that YouTube channel, go look it up. SEIJIHITO, the second coming. Go over there, go subscribe, go look at all the videos that I've posted. Because I've been posting videos since I've been gone on the original channel, just in case, a lot of y'all ain't, sit up there and catch up to it. So, just putting it out there. Hostler said it hits different when you watch a video that's posted be during the live. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Watch Kamala going to step out and defend her. My arm from the shot said it should be a problem no matter the gender. That's true. That's true, and that's my main point. Like, I say a little bit. So the way that I feel about it is the fact that if you have, who was it, Nina Long? I think that was engaged or married to like the coach, right? So he went out there, he stepped out, and he did what he did, right? And you saw women all over social media blowing up, yada yada yada, right? But again, this is a man that had power, and he decided that he wanted to explore some options, right? So I couldn't really pin down if Hendrix had a significant other. There was some stuff online that stated that she did or that she didn't, whatnot or whatever. They didn't list if she had a husband or if the husband name could be listed or whatnot. But the main thing is this is a woman that is a coach and she is having a relationship with a player. That's a problem. You are a person of status of power that can make decisions, and you are having a relationship with a subordinate. You are having a relationship with a player, and it's a current player, and that's crazy to me. But like I said before, when it comes to these social media platforms, you're not going to hear a lot of women speak on this or, in a sense, state that this is an issue because it's a woman doing it, which is crazy. Like I said, I hold both men and women to the same standards. If you're a man doing this, like, yo, you shouldn't be doing it. You can get hemmed up. You can get caught up in a multitude of things. You know what directly comes with this. If you're a woman and you have power, you have status as well, you should not be doing this. You're stupid. Just because you're not going to be getting hit up like a man would by social media or the news, don't mean that you should go out here and do it. You shouldn't be doing it in general. You just shouldn't. Wait, Beatface let you said stop telling women you only want to be with them just so they can stay home and be faithful to only you. I get what it. I'm confused. Are you speaking on the male coach that cheated on Nina Long, or are you speaking on the female coach? Yo, hot stepper, much love, respect, and appreciation for the super chat. Is that a Pokemon in there? Why did it look like a Pokemon? That looked like a Pokemon or a Digimon in that image right there. DC Precise said, appreciate the stream. Said you just caught up to the live as you're ending. Everyone have a great week. Uh, she's in a position of authority. Yeah, that's bars. Uh, okay, so you're talking about the coach that cheated on. I mean, he already. This is the thing, though. Whatever's going to come to him, he's already suffering those consequences, right? He was pretty much, dragged through the mud on social media. Women were, talking about him, all this other type of stuff, right? So everything that was supposed to happen happened, right? My main thing is I just used him for an example because I wanted to show that if a man should be held responsible for being in a position of power and deciding that he wanted to do whatever it is that he wanted to do, you should have women who are in power that decide that they want to do whatever that it is that they want to do. They shouldn't be like this woman here. Let me tell you something. See, you're focused on the aspect of whatever it is that the dude did to like Nina Long. That's okay. I'll put it like this. Maybe like somewhere like in your history you might have had like some dudes that were not faithful to you. They cheated on you, all this other type of stuff. I get that. But your situation and her situation are two different things. Like the one main common point that they have is cheating. Status wise, it is two completely different things. You're dealing with like a high profile coach. You're dealing with a man that has like power, that has influence, who women are specifically going after. And then you're dealing with like Nina Long, who is an actress, right? Who has her own money, kids, and everything like that, right? So you're dealing with like two different dynamics there. Again, nobody can specifically state what it is that they were doing in their marriage or what was going on. Like I said, he stepped out, he did what he did. The marriage is ended. He lost his coaching position, and I think now he's about to sit up and get another one. He had to deal with his name getting dragged directly through the mud and all this other type of stuff, and being shamed for what it is that he did. Like I said, he paid that cost, right? And what do you see Nina out here doing? She ain't worried about it. She's appearing on Old Spice commercials. She's appearing on a multitude of other places. Notice how now after this whole thing took place, you see Nina Long appearing on a variety of things. So realistically, this was actually beneficial for her career. Just saying. It was a negative thing that happened, but it was a positive thing directly for her career because before all of that, I didn't really see Nina Long appearing on a whole bunch of stuff left and right like I do right now. Um, you said nobody is forced to cheat to be with anyone. I don't understand the cheating. That's just what he wanted to do. That there's nothing to understand. That's just what he wanted to do. He decided that he wanted to go out there and do it. That's what he wanted to do. It is what it is. But my main thing that I'm saying is that I'm just using him as an example as a person, in power and position. And as stated before, I hold women to the same exact standards. That's it. Adultery for men and adultery for women are different. No double standards, just facts. I mean, yeah, wrong is wrong. Give it the same energy. Don't like that double standard nonsense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, brother Sly. I get what it is that you're saying, but I'm going from the standpoint of women basically stating that they want to be equal to men. They want that equality. They want, that same thing. Like I said, I'm giving all that same energy. If if that the male coach is wrong, the female coach is wrong for using her position and doing what it is that she wanted to sit up there and do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm about equality, guys. you know, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I think that's the main. That's the one thing that I did want to mention. But yeah, let me let y'all go. Let me actually end the stream like I said that I was supposed to, sit up there and do. Shout out to the 47 people from the original channel, and shout out to. I would actually have to move the notifications forward. I have to move that down. And shout out to the 33 that are on SEIJIHITO, the second coming. So I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Let y'all catch up with the whole hour and 54 minutes, and I will see you guys later. Peace, love, and stay tuned for the next live stream whenever that happens.